enemy would have taken us out of this place. He would have messed with our minds. He would have caused our heart to faint. But because God has reached down far enough and put his hands around us, hold us in his right hand, so that the enemy couldn't get to us, that we would all could shout like David said, and said, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go in the house of the Lord. I don't know about you, but I found out that when God got his hands on us, the enemy might don't like us. They might even try to cause us problems. But God will take care of us. I find this same David, while he was down in the valley, facing this great big old giant. How many of you had some giants you had to face? But when God got his hands on us, I heard this David said, who is going to defile the army of the living God? That tells me one thing, that even though I'm by myself, when God got his hands on me, I'm just like an army. In other words, I got power to move stuff. I got power to make things happen because God got his hands on us. David went on and continued to write. And we find, just like some of us, we make some mistakes along the way. But some of us will never admit that. Some of us will never write that down. But just like David did, we have made some mistakes along the way. And David said, now, Lord, I realize I messed up some stuff. But purge me now. Clean me up. Create in me a clean heart. Give me a right spirit. Now I found David. Coming up on Psalms 139. I see this saying, David. And now, Lord, thou know all about me. You done search me in. You done search me out. You know my downsetting. You know my uprising. You know when I go in. And you know when I come out. Now, Lord, I know you got me. seat. No matter where you go, if God got his arms on you, and if he's leading you through, I see trouble this way, just step to the side, son. I know folks don't like you over there, but step this way. I know long as he's leading me, the pitfall's there. Step round this time. I know folks gonna be setting traps for you. They're gonna set up the trap now. But here's what I want you to do. Instead of going this way, please walk off this way. So while he's leading me, folks might go like it. Because every trap they set, instead of me falling in it, I walk around it. Every time they say I got it, right where I want it, instead of them throwing me down, when they look for me, I pop up over here. Instead they think they got me, right in the clutches. But because he's leading me, what I love about God is when the enemy is all around you, and you can't even see your way out, he'll lead you to a place that's higher. Good God Almighty, higher than I. In other words, you can come out of whatever it is that you're in. I say, hold on a minute, God. You know we got some slick folk that come to church every Sunday. They'll come and sit up in here with their legs crossed while I'm preaching. They're trying to figure out a way to get me to stumble while I'm preaching. They're trying to figure out a way to get me to backslide while I'm sitting here preaching. They're sitting there trying to figure out how they gonna pull me down. And everybody ain't come to tell you that they love you. So you better be careful. So while you in God's hand, while you sitting on the right hand side, you better let God lead you. Because everybody that come up to you, throw their arms around you, tell you that they love you. Don't mean that they do. But my Bible says that that's the same way that they got Jesus out of the garden of Gethsemane. Somebody said it was a premeditated suicide. Well, I feel like preaching that. Some of us, we premeditated our own suicide. Some of us, because while we are planning, while we are plotting to try to take out God's folk, we are premeditating our very own suicide. And I'm glad, I said I'm glad that while you premeditating, while you sitting at home, plotting and planning, God got his arms around me. He's leading me and guiding me. For the Bible says that old Judas, one thing about folk, they'll come and kiss you and tell you they love you. But you better be careful, because everybody kiss you on the cheek. Don't mean they mean you no good. For the Bible declares that Judas had already premeditated. In other words, he had a plot before. He had a plan in place.